Hi, everybody. This is a training on how to use Google Meet and all its applications to help you best in the classroom. So first off, I'm going to start by showing you 3 different ways that you can actually access Google Meet and get a meeting started. The first way you want to do is go to meet.google.com. Now, this way is good if you just want to do a quick meeting on the fly. But with this way, it does not keep a consistent code. Let me show you what I mean. So we just click on join or start. Give it a name. So maybe you're just having a meeting really quick. I'm going to name test, but it could be anything. You name it. It's going to set up. You can check your camera, your audio as it gets ready. Now, this does not mean you're in the call yet. You want to check, you can go ahead and pre-turn on or off your camera. So if you want to start it muted, you can. If you want to start with your camera off, you can. You can also check in your settings, which will stay down here. I call it the snowman, which is going to be your best friend. You can turn on captions. I'll show you that in a minute. Your settings, or even doing live streaming, which is pretty neat. We're going to do, I'll show you in settings really quick. The only thing you're going to see is what are you using for your microphone, what are you using for your camera, and how do you want to see it, what type of definition. That's not a big deal. But all of that information is going to be in your settings. So if you're like, oh, I'm having trouble, that's where you want to check. So I'm going to click join now, hop in this meeting. Now I've started with my camera off and my microphone off. Now here's what you can do. You can then click add people. If you are in-house, you can just start typing names. So I could start typing my name and I would find myself or different people, and I could just click them and it would add them. They would then get an email saying, hey, join the call. What else you can do? You can always just copy this information and paste it into an email. Or the other cool part about this that you can use in the classroom is, okay, I've got a kid that doesn't have a camera, doesn't have the ability or a microphone. They can see it, but we can't hear them. No problem. You can click dial in, and then they can dial this phone number. They put in the PIN, and then they'll join via phone. Very good audio quality. They can be with you. You just won't see their picture, but if they're out somewhere, something's happening, whatever it might be, I don't know, they can still be a part of it. Again, okay, then they're having that trouble. Okay, they just can't figure out how to call in. No problem. You call them. Click on call instead of invite. Type their phone number. It will call them. They'll answer the call, and they will be in your meet. You'll see everybody. You'll see a little picture of a phone, and that'll be that person. And you just go about your business. So, again, that takes away another excuse of anybody saying that they cannot join the call. That's there. So that's the first way you can get in. Again, is just going to meet.google.com. But again, the only downfall of this is the pro is it's good for joining quickly, just getting something started really quick. All they really need is that little bit right there to get in. That's the join code. But once you end, this goes away. It does not stay consistent. So that could be confusing for students. Let's show you how to keep a consistent code. So I'm going to end this call. And one of the best ways you can do that is to go to your calendar. Setting up a calendar meet is probably your fastest way. So I can click on create. And I'm going to name it test meeting. And I can add conferencing. Now, I might end up making a calendar for my students, something that they can see. Maybe it's part of their Google Classroom calendar or something. I share this with them in some form or fashion. That way, that code right there will stay the same all the time, forever. And they'll know when and when not to be there. So you can click save, and then you go through the same steps as for getting in. Everything else would work the same. They would just click on it. I then can, even if they have the app on their phone, they can click here and join by phone, and it will call for them. Click on join the meet. It will take them right to the meet, just like we were before, and they're in. Okay. You'll see a pop-up. I want to double check for you guys and make sure that is it push me straight into the meeting, or do I have to click join? Okay, it knows who I am. I just click join. We're in. And I won't click join this time. Okay, and the last way is if you are a teacher using Google Classroom, you can set up a consistent Meet link in Google Classroom. By doing that, and that Meet link will now be right here on the top of your page where they can see it every time, which is super handy. You can find that in your settings. Click on the gear in the top right corner. If you roll down just a little bit, you'll find the Meet link here. It'll say generate a link. You're going to click on that. You can copy or reset that anytime and make that visible to students. And now it has popped up on your screen and you are set to go. Students would just come in, click on their link from Classroom, and they're in their Google Meet. So that's 3 ways that you can get in to a Google Meet. So that's the first part. Now let me show you some other features about Google Meet that might help you out a little bit. Okay. So while I'm in here, now you notice it won't matter on the nickname because they joined through Classroom, that they know they're in the right spot, and you shouldn't have to worry about adding people because they should already be there. Another neat feature, closed captioning. You can click that and turn that on, and as you're talking, they will start picking up what you're saying, and it will type it up there for you. It's really cool. And then you can just turn it off by clicking the button again. Okay, that comes in handy for your students that may need to keep up by reading, or you want them to practice reading, or they'll be like, what did they just say? They can go back through and their picture is going to be beside it, so they can always check that out. So captioning is really neat. You can, from here, still check your speaker, your microphone, your camera. All of that is here. Presenting now. Let me talk about the different options with Present Now. If you click Present Now, you get all these different options. If I click Entire Screen, that means everything here, all of my tabs. If you're going to be jumping around on your screen, you want to show them everything. You're going to want the entire screen. If you're just going to focus on one website, you're not leaving that spot. It's not going to open up any new windows. You can do a window. And I would recommend that if you're not using audio. No, but if you're wanting to show the kids a video, an animation, maybe you're going to play a game that requires them to see it and it has music, click on a Chrome tab. This feature that they just added is a wonderful feature for just the audio will come through crystal clear on their side. It'll be like they're in the room with you listening to it. So you would click on that. It's then going to give you an option. You pick that tab. So maybe it's YouTube video or something. You're going to click on it. So I'll just pick a tab for fun and then click share. Notice I'm going to click share audio so they'll get that audio too. You're going to stay here. You can technically go in and check on your students. It says that you're presenting. It shows that you share the audio. You can check to see if they're listening and everything from here, but you could stay on this tab. It says I'm presenting to everyone right now. Do your thing, press play, watch it. And then when you're done, go back and hit stop presenting and you jump back into the room. Now, while you are presenting a Google tab, it's going to do your audio. So you're going to want to make sure that you have yourself muted. That microphone needs to be off while you're playing something. Because otherwise it's going to pick you up in the microphone and they're going to hear double. That would be the only way to mess up your audio. So make sure that you are muted while you're doing presenting a Google tab with audio. But otherwise it is wonderful. So those are your options there. Again, there's your snowman down here. You can change your layouts. This is where people like it with Zoom. The tiled layout, you can see multiple students at one time in similar boxes. I've clicked that, so that's my default. Spotlight means it's only the person talking. Sidebar is you see half of them over here, and the main speaker will always pop up the largest, or you can set it on auto for whatever is most convenient at that time. Most of you are going to want tiled, though. Another feature you might like is record. So maybe you want to record that session just so you have that lesson in an archive. And if a student misses it, or they're like, man, I just need to hear that part one more time, they can do that. Click on it. It'll save in your Google Drive. You can do whatever you want. You can send them that link to the video again from your Google Drive, or you could upload it to YouTube in an unlisted video, whatever you prefer, and then share it with them that way. That way they can watch those lessons. Or maybe they were sick that day and you can't go back. It's going to be hard to catch up with this. So record it, share it with those kids that are at home sick. They can still stay in the game. Full screens, obviously, there. It's an option. Your settings, again, is just your audio and video, which I showed you before. This using the phone for audio is a feature. If you ever run into your microphone doesn't work, or it's possible, I ran into the situation one time where I had so many people in a meeting, which was weird, that my microphone wouldn't work and it wouldn't use my audio for some reason. So you can use your phone for audio. You click on it and then you just dial in your phone number. I used my cell phone number. I could have it call me, or I dialed in. I just dialed that number just like the kids were to get in the meeting. My pictures and my webcam worked, but then I was talking on my phone, and you could use your headphones or AirPods or whatever you might be using and talk through there. They'll still see you, but you use your phone for the audio and your microphone, which is pretty neat. So it's got a lot of cool features in there. You can always see who's in by clicking here to show everyone. And use that chat feature. You can also have, if you add some extensions, I'll show you that in a minute, they might pop up there. Chat will be handy if you want to have a back channel for questionings, for questioning from you, questions from your kids. So if you want to come back to that way, you can teach and just tell them, okay, you guys are on mute. Just type your questions down here and we will answer those in just a minute, kind of like a parking lot for questions. Now, these will not save automatically. So if you want to save these for later, I would recommend at the end of the meeting, before you hang up, copy all of this, highlight it, copy it, paste it in a Google Doc, and then it'll save there. That way, when you end this call, you can have those questions later. If you're like, I just can't answer them all now, but I do want to get back to you later, especially if parents are on there asking you questions. So use that chat. That chat will come in handy. All right. So that's all the features that are inside of Google Meet. Now, I do want to show you a couple of extensions that might be helpful for you. And the big one might be Breakouts. Google is going to push out Breakouts, best of my knowledge, in October of 2020. A lot of good features are coming out in September, but the Breakout feature, which I know several have talked about, is coming out in October. So until then, you can use an extension. So in a new tab, you're going to want to type Chrome Web Store. Search for the web store. Click that first one. You can find so many extensions to try to make stuff work for you within Google Meet. I'll show you what I mean. Maybe you want to track attendance. Might type that in and there will be a Google Meet attendance. And you just click add to Chrome, it'll add it in, and then it'll pop up. When you open up your Google Meet, you can track attendance, who joined my meet. As they join it, it will automatically put their name on the list, so you already know. There's different ones. You pick the one you like the best. I would just check the ratings and see which one works the best. Same thing for, push to talk is a fun one. So you don't want your kids you want them to, they have to push the space bar on this one. You add that in. So when they push the space bar, they talk. When they let go, it puts them directly back on mute. That might be a handy one that you can add onto your Google Meets to kind of spice it up. All this stuff is going to be coming out soon in its officialness with Google Meet. But until, like I said, these work in the meantime. And the big one here I'm going to show you is Breakout Rooms, which I've been using this first one here. But you can look around, and I've got it up here. You'll notice it'll be a purple box, and when you click on it, it's going to open up a room like this, which hopefully you see. Oops. I'm going to add this in here so you guys can see this. Here we go. Okay, so when I'm in my breakout room, the hardest part about this, and it isn't hard, it's just, I guess you could say maybe a little tedious, is just setting it up. You're going to want to set up your courses. So I start at courses first. I'm going to hit, this is the plus, means to add a course, save the course, undo, delete, export. So everything I set up here, guys, means that it stays on my computer. That's why I use the export. I'm going to download that eventually when I'm done, and then I can import that to another computer. So that means, hey, I'm planning on doing all my breakouts from this computer. That's why I say that's the catch with the extension. I don't know how it'll work with Google's official version. The extension up here will move with me, but my rooms that I create won't. So I'm going to make a room, or course, and now I'm going to make my rooms. So maybe I've named mine all Star Wars characters. When I click on the plus, I give it a name, so maybe I'll name this one Pilots. I don't have to type anything in here. Once I let it go, once I click save, it's going to generate it for me. Boom. Okay, so I now have my main room, which I copied from my Google Classroom. But if I have kids joining the Meet through Google Classroom, I'm still going to have them go that way. I'm not going to open it this way. When I go to my Meet, as it says, you can start with Meet or Classroom, which I've shown you before. I'm going to have that already open. That's why you probably noticed in my Meet, it was different colors before. Yep, there we go. See how it's green. That means my extension's working. I've got all these different features here. It's got a little bit more control of my Meet, so I can do different things. That's what this is. I can mute myself in all the rooms. I can show my camera and turn it off in all the rooms at the same time, and it just goes through one by one. Now, I will say on your side, it might drag a little bit because you're going to have possibly 4 to 6, who knows how many breakout rooms run at the same time. That's a lot of work on your computer. So it might drag a little bit. Your kids won't have that experience because they're only going to have one at a time. So you won't have to worry about that with the kids. What you're going to want to do when I go down to assign breakout rooms, I'm going to take this information right here. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it in a Google Doc. I'm then going to, on my own manual way, make my groups like we always do, and assign people to those groups and say, okay, you guys go to the Wookiee group, you guys go to the Droid group, whatever they might be. And then all you have to do, get on your Google Meet, is I'm going to click on Open Breakouts. That's going to open all of these at the same time. You'll have 4 open. But all it essentially is it's doing the work of just going. You could do this manually by going to Google Meet and doing it 4 times, but it's just going to do it for you, is all this is. And like I said, the biggest work was just setting it up. And then from there, you're able to do all the control in at one time. And as far as your students are concerned, you are only with them. So they don't have to know you're with everybody at the same time and you're jumping around from groups. Just keep that, keep your camera on or keep it off. They think you're there the whole time. So how to get them there? Because they cannot join and push in automatically. They have to click the button to get in. So what you're going to do in that main room where they started, I'm going to, like I said, I copied this. I'm going to click copy. Click here, copy. I'm going to go to the chat. There's another handiness of the chat feature. I'm going to paste it in. There's all my codes. So when I send it, I'll copy this from my Google Doc that says, okay, you kids go here, you kids go here. Then they click on their link. It will take them there. They click join, and they're in. So there's different ways that you could do that, and that's it in a nutshell with the breakout rooms. You can have it auto-populate those links, or if you have an assistant that's going to be doing that group, they can make their own link in the calendar or whatever they might have. That's probably the best way for them, is to do it in a calendar. And they'll share that link with you. You'll copy and paste that in there, and you'll have the assistant's link in there. So maybe these names are assistant names, like you're going to example, or Miss Smith or Miss Morton, whatever. And then they're going to click on that, and they'll be in that person's group. And that person will be there waiting for them to join. And you'll all just pop in once you click it. So that is Google Meet. and all of its features that I know of, at least for so far. And like I said, more official stuff is coming out in September and October. Feel free to watch this video as much as you like. Jump around to the parts that you need more practice on, because I know a lot of it at one time can be confusing. But hopefully this helps you out in this school year, which could be wild, and you're probably going to be using this tool quite a bit. You're probably going to be a pro at it by the end of the year, probably by the end of the month. And if you ever need any help, just leave me a comment, send me an email, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out the best I can. Good luck with everything, and we'll see you later.